Oh, it's moving. No. Fuck that. No. Fuck that.
The scary sight caught in the dark snows of the Canadian woods. How many times has anyone encountered these creatures moving in packs? Maybe once in 2 decades, but here's the amazing job done by the trail cam. Take a look at this pack of wolves moving cooperatively on a snowy land in a single file. You get to see them in twos most times, maybe by sheer luck or probably just one going about its business all alone. It has become quite exciting to observe and watch these fearsome looking creatures up close without any danger in mind. Capturing a pack of wolves is something anyone hardly ever sees. How possible could it be for a creature to have a foothold at the very top of a tree without tipping over? Does it have some magical powers? This undoubtedly looks unsettling. We are used to seeing trees with uneven edges as a result of leaves sticking out or branches popping down from somewhere. If you try to zoom this a little bit more, you'll see this dark, carefree figure right at the middle top of this tree. No one knows what she's up to. The craziest part is that even with the noise made by the wolves and other wild animals underground, this creepy figure seems unperturbed. She turns about on a spot acting all busy with invisible activities. Some suggested it could be the ghost of La Llorona. However, this remains a mystery. Imagine a portion of fire rolled in a ball and begins to move about unassisted in the air. Have you seen a moving light before? What the camera caught this time is quite attention-grabbing. Can you see this whitish bright object floating about all on its own with an unpredictable movement or with no sign of landing? It gives off this fiery and bouncy movement in the air. The light moved with so much strength. Scientists analyzed it and have remained clueless about the cause of this floating light, which is capable of keeping your gaze busy and affixed for a long time. Skeptics argued they were just bugs or clouds of dust. Here is a bizarre tentacled creature captured and spotted rolling itself in the mud. It has no senses or discernible parts, leaving people wondering how it carries out life's activities. Some have suggested that the creature may be an undiscovered aquatic species, while others feel it is controlled by a remote. Could it be that this creature has its senses located just in some place around its tentacles which has not been sighted yet? Because there's got to be something responsible for its movement. I'd like to see your comments on this. Journeying down a dry forest is a man behind this trail cam who walks closely and tries to show us this creature he spotted. So while hanging out in the woods as he moves further ahead, he brings the camera closer and we can see this creature crouching at a far distance. It seems harmless and does not attempt to scare anyone off. The man got even closer till he captured the face of this creature behind the woods. Can you see its orange-colored neck and face with 2 long horns protruding from both sides of the head? It looks quite powerless and helpless. While some described it as a dog man, others said it's a man hiding behind the masks. This giant creature was caught in the footage right behind a fence surrounded by overgrown grasses. It keeps making this side-to-side angry movement on top of the building like it's anticipating a reaction from an opponent. This dark, huge, and tall creature has this speed in its bodily movement, making it look even more real. Many think it's just a prank, or maybe it's the famous dogman. Some have also likened it to a demon. Looking closely, what does it look like to you? Most children are usually scared of the dark, no doubt. Let's say you stepped out in the wee hours and saw a little girl all dressed in white playing about unsupervised by anyone in the backyard. Your best reaction and your guesses may be as good as mine. Here's a little girl caught on camera, in white, overall excitedly running towards a gated structure just in the middle of the night. She seems comfortable by herself and does not seek help or attention from anyone. Others suggest it's a lost girl, while some say it's a ghost since it has been found out the owner has no kids. From the video, it looks like her usual playground, and she has become very fond of it when no one is watching. What do you think? How do you explain what secretly shifts the position of objects when no one watches? Here's a trap set in the henhouse by the owner to monitor and record activities that occur every night. In this video, we can see the long rope tied to one end, dragged out with its remaining parts lying on the floor, and the end of it in an almost circular manner. The owner then mounts a fake hen on an elevated surface. From the video, we can see the slight snake-like inward shift at the circular end of the rope, while the fake hen falls with its peak directly packing the floor. Whatever is responsible for these activities is still unknown and remains a mystery. Some pointed out it could be this black entity sitting just by the corner in this video, who is responsible for this act. Nature has a way of making us a lot more curious than we ever thought. Here's a group of people walking in the woods who caught this on trail cam, a creature on video looking like a grim reaper. The sight was quite astonishing and fearful at the same time, making the group feel both relaxed and agitated. Could this be a wolfman or some unreal creature? It really just doesn't look like an ordinary one. What do you think? While traveling down a road and driving past 2 grazing deer, the cam captures a 3rd deer dashing out of nowhere. Observing this footage closely, we can infer that from the beginning there are only 2 deer present, which had everyone guessing where the sudden appearance of the 3rd came from. One of the theories put forward by viewers, they labeled this as a potential glitch in the Matrix. This means that we live in a simulated reality, much like the premise of the famous science fiction film. The unanticipated could also be as a result of the mistake in the system coding, causing it to materialize without a logical explanation. Skeptics likened the appearance of the 3rd deer to be an illusion of perspective. They suggest that the deer might have walked up out of the line of sight, which made it seem as though it materialized out of thin air. This sounds more like some merely optical illusion. Amongst all, how do you explain this blurry picture of a guy clad in some sports clothes with arms normal, but a scary looking face? You can see that the only thing aside from the arms that indicate that he has some human features are the 2 indentations on the face region, with some teeth-like skeletal structure closing up the mouth area. The Evansville police found this to be a bit unbelievable. This creature was caught making some daring moves toward the camera and kept many wondering what its mission could be while creating so much buzz in the town. Some said it's a prank which someone set up, while others felt that the policemen were the brains behind it. Others feel it's a hoax, while some few believers see it as paranormal. You might have to look closely as well to tell me what you think about this. Have you seen a bird flying without its wings moving? This looks absolutely unusual. Here's a beautiful lawn in this video with a black truck slightly parked by the corner. A levitating bird was spotted dashing out of nowhere and floating in the air, just right in front of the camera. It becomes motionless and its wings become stiff and unflappable as it goes back and forth. The original filmer of this video, Gingerbeard, proposed that this eerie effect is a result of the camera's frame rate, which probably got synchronized with the bird's wings. The mystery has, however, been solved. What on earth is this old, dry-looking creature with sunken eyes and bony facial structure? This would make you think twice before you consider walking alone in the forest. This is the #1 alien in the forest, having a double-breasted dwarfish body. It looks far from a work of art, which many have thought it to be. The hands look wiry, and overall, it looks like some dried-up old creature that always featured in some scary movies. Quite interesting, but not so much of a good sight to behold. Let's look at this ghost that has been lurking in the woods and making some suspicious moves around the forest. What in the world could this figure be? Nobody knows. The police are all out on the search for this mysterious figure. He walks with his back turned and travels the same route every day and never shows up whenever the police are out to get him, even when he's pre-informed of their search. His discerning skills must be really high. Mothers have reported how he scares children. Whenever he steps out, he usually does so with face covered in a mask and a gas tank. Many who went into the forest alone always come back with stories of how they were haunted. Having an island full of dolls looks pretty horrible, as dolls are being tied to tree trunks. Not 1, not 2, not even 3, but a countless number. Could this be for done movie shoots, or are these children that were once abandoned in the woods? This island used to be home to mine, after which a tragedy befell the mine. What do you think these dolls are meant for? Bigfoots have been sighted over the years across the world. If there is some evidence of some creature remaining hidden for all these years, then this footage shows it. The trail cam captured some really strange claw marks along with hidden trees that had once been in an area where smaller pine trees are forced down. What kind of animal would cause such devastation, then make a home from it? Well, not many that we know. There aren't any human tools that couldn't have created such a result. This is the first evidence ever found about Bigfoot. Just like the clown of one of our all-time faves, Joker, you would almost mistake this clown the trail cam captured to be the same as he. This is some strange-looking clown having rainbow-colored hair with its face painted with makeup, making it look scary instead of funny. This creature approached the camera, and no one knew what he was up to. Could it be a prank? What do you think? This very disturbing footage has left viewers in an uncomfortable state. What could be more powerful enough to scare a dog to death? A camera was installed, and as they peered around the corner, 2 bright eyes were seen lurking in the darkness. Could it be some cryptic hiding in the dark, or some animals more powerful? Do drop your comments. Take a close look at this puzzling video, which had people speculating if it's a ghost or not. This peculiar moment was captured just in the middle of the night by the trail cam of a particular Instagram user. This camera mounted on their home security system shows the footage of how a mysterious wide mass moves and glides across the yard towards the end. We can see how it moved and glided past the white flat-like object with extension on both sides of the hammock and how it traveled back and forth. Judging from the way it looks, some suggested it's a smoke while others called it a ghost. Imagine moving in the dark and encountering a bodiless organism with two shiny eyes staring at you just right at the corner. That feels scary. Here's a journey made by the trail cam into the sewer system. As you can see, how this pair of lights glow in the video looks a little unnerving. Looking closely, we can see how this organism performs some hide-and-seek movements in front of the camera. Actually, the Georgia Public Utilities Department needed to be aware of some damage caused by foreign objects in the sewer system, and this was stumbled on. No one had any idea what the scary thing with shiny eyes was. Neither has anyone been able to make sense of it yet. Some think it is just a bullfrog. What do you think may have its abode in the sewer system of all places? From the footage, Hank is spotted walking about in the neighborhood. It is fond of lurking in corners and trying to break in through back doors or squeeze through windows. Policemen are usually inundated with calls day in and day out from homeowners to call their attention to the harm Hank has been causing. The footage camera was able to capture 4 of the breeds of these sullen-looking creatures. They became used to stealing foods and constituted so much nuisance that even kids could no longer move about freely. It walks in a slowly calculated manner with no intention to harm, but to sight an opening through which it can meddle its way in and pounce on foods and remain in homes. Some want Hank and its cohorts eliminated completely, while others have suggested they be captured and taken to a different territory entirely different from humans. This would mean them starving in the wilderness. But then, they are doing no good being with people either. What's your take on this? I bet you haven't seen a deer coated in white. This is what the trail cam has captured. Standing afar off are the rare colored deers which are spotted in their distinctive coating, totally different from the usual brown dotted deers our eyes easily recognize. Here's where curiosity arises. The white coat is as a result of the presence of a recessive gene which gives no room to little or no pigmentation. The fragility of their looks makes people wonder how they could survive the harshest weather conditions in their habitat, as it looks like they've been stripped off a tougher covering. Compared to the regular deer with a more fierce look, their docile and calm nature makes people look forward to keeping them. No wonder the businessman who had plans of converting the Seneca Park, their habitat, to a place for metalworks had a change of mind. He'd grown so fond of them and never wanted them out of the park. Their white color has made them quite visible to predators like coyotes. Just a few of them have been discovered. Do you think they'll live forever? What could make a bear take an excitable tour up a treetop? Look at this big stocky bear making its way up a tree that houses a baby eagle. This interesting footage was caught on camera by a guy standing afar off fishing on the other side of the sea. This bear noticed the baby eagle sitting quietly. All of a sudden, this black bear got all fired up like a fish would swim aggressively towards a bait, and in an unstoppable manner began to hop up. Spotting this activity, the mother eagle attempted to stop the bear in its track and scare it off, but all to no avail. Take a close look at how it succeeded in grabbing the baby eagle and bringing it to the ground. Who would have thought of bear climbing? It's quite interesting what the trail cam captures. With the talks about aliens making the rounds these days, it feels like we've seen and heard all that there is, and nothing is capable of giving us goosebumps anymore. Take a close look at this long-necked, silvery-bodied creature with a wiry bodily movement and a slimy appearance. The video was taken back in Brazil, 2019, and no one has ever caught a creature this strange and creepy. With so much curiosity, it stares deeply with its sunken eyes into the camera like it's in search of a missing object. Some folks suggested it was nabbed by authorities and has been hidden for some time. Imagine walking in an empty, dark-looking space between trees with raucous sounds all over the forest. This not only evokes some strange feelings of fear in you, but you're also very careful not to get closed in on and attacked by some wild animal from the rear. Tiptoeing and being as quiet as she could, the woman behind the trail cam suddenly sighted this creature lurking and crouching at the base of a tree, following the cacophony of sounds emanating from the path that led straight to where it was.
What the f is that? What is that? Oh, it's moving. No. What's that? No.
Could it be a prank? Or is this just an opportunity for the creature to hunt? Let us know what you think. Still on bears, take a look at this not-so-thick forest with dried trees. This bear that is approaching happens to only attack when it's being threatened or protecting its young. This grizzly bear with a long snout happens to be the most aggressive, with a bite force of over 1,200 pounds, referring to the amount of pressure they can exert with their teeth. This one was very close to the camera and was almost closing in on those recordings, but the would-be victim and his friends were able to scare it off. The possibility of being attacked by a bear is almost 1 in 2.1 million according to World Animal Foundation. Annually, there are about 49 bear attacks on humans worldwide, with 1 death in the US. Which of these caught your attention and why? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more updates. Here is some really eerie creature captured by the trail cam. Just how do you describe a long-legged, tiny stick-like insect making some to and fro movement in the dark? It doesn't look like what anyone has seen before. Seems more like it's up to something. Dragging its feet across the lawn, it looks more like it is running on a mission before dawn. Some online users have claimed this could be a digital artist playing with some video effect, while some feel it could be counted amongst those creepy insects in existence. Do you think it's just some creepy thing that is non-existent? Wolverines happen to be the scariest creatures in existence. Biologists were elated how the camera was able to capture it in action. Because in reality, wolverines are the rarest wild animals you would ever stumble across in the wilderness. With black stocky bodies and shiny bright eyes, they seem to be just as fierce as they look. Their looks in no way betray their actions. You just can easily tell how they would jump hard on a prey without a second thought. Seeing how they cover really long distances and hop enthusiastically, their claws are not to be wrestled with. These are their sharpest weapon for defense, and you never pray to encounter one. They belong to the Weasley family and are found in alpine and forest habits. How could we have known that bucks don't shed tears but antlers? Thanks to Cam. One thing bucks don't go a year without getting off of themselves or regenerating is the long stick-like extension on their heads. The shedding of antlers by bucks occurs every winter, from mid-December to March, and it comes so easily to them. From the video, we can see how the buck is in a hyperactive state. This is as a result of increases in testosterone levels. You would ask, what has testosterone got to do with antlers? Here it is. The skull of the buck is covered in a soft coating called velvet. Antlers emerge from the velvet where blood flows. As this velvet wears off, new antlers begin to grow and the testosterone level in turn increases. This period is when bucks begin to engage in fights and battles for dominance against their fellow bucks.